What's up, guys? This is Chris from draftdashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for MLB Wednesday, June 21st. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's MLB slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have a 7-game MLB slate tonight. So let's take a look at the pitcher position. Now, if you want to roll the dice on Luis Castillo up versus the Yankees, if you have some extra salary at pitcher, I never like to play pitchers against the Yankees, but Luis Castillo does have a good matchup here. The Yankees have only hit 14 of his last 82 pitches. It's a 171 batting average. So he does have a good matchup. The Yankees have 6 righties, and Castillo is only giving up a .514 OPS versus righties. So the splits are fantastic. So I do like Luis Castillo here versus the New York Yankees. But if you want to save some salary at the pitcher position and stack your bats, take a look at Paul Blackburn. He's pitching against a low salary batting team, the Cleveland Guardians. So Paul Blackburn only giving up a .601 OPS versus lefties, facing 4 lefties here tonight. But I like this pick because the Guardians have only hit 5 of his last 27 pitches. That's a 185 batting average. And Paul Blackburn is only 6,800 FanDuel salary, 1,400 more on DraftKings, averaging 28 fantasy points per game on the season, has an ERA of 3.48, pitching an average of 91 pitches per game. So I like Paul Blackburn as a value play here versus the Cleveland Guardians. Okay, let's take a look at the catcher first base position. So here's another value play. Although the splits aren't perfect here, I do like Ty France, and he's batting against Johnny Brito. Ty France, he's batting a .685 OPS versus righties. Johnny Brito pitching his worst ball versus righty batters, 20% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .857 OPS versus righties. So there's no at-bats versus Brito yet. And Ty France is only 2,700 FanDuel salary, 700 more on DraftKings, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season, scored fantasy points in all 5 of his last games. Although nothing over a 10. He scored 6 to 9 fantasy points in all of his last 5 games, but he has been consistently scoring, and he has a batting average of 275. So I like Ty France as a value play here versus Johnny Brito. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won. And then we'll send you $25 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. Okay, second base here. Let's find another second baseman. I've got Ezekiel Duran, but he is my shortstop. So you're going to have plenty of salary left over on this slate. So you know what? Why don't you just go ahead and take a look at Mookie Betts. He's a stud on the slate. He is facing Shohei Ohtani, but the one hit versus Ohtani was a home run. And guys, I think you're going to have plenty of salary left over on this slate, especially if you go with that value play at pitcher. there's not a lot of batters that are in smash spots, to be honest with you. Like all of the high salary plays here, either the splits aren't right or they're facing a good pitcher. So I would go with I would take a look at Mookie Betts here versus Shohei Ohtani at 4,100 FanDuel salary. Probably going to be one of the better players you can put in your lineup. I don't like the pitcher that he's going against. But for the money, I think he probably is going to be one of the better bats in your lineup. So let's move on here. Let's take a look at the third base position. So I like Jake Burger. He has a 16% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Martin Perez. So Jake Burger batting 16% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a .921 OPS versus lefties. Martin Perez giving up a .807 OPS versus righties. And I like this pick because Jake Burger is 2 for 3 here versus Perez. One of those hits was a home run. Only 2,900 FanDuel salary, 900 more on DraftKings, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. Now, it looks like he's been in a bit of a rut here, about a batting average of 235, but I like the splits and I like the price tag, so I like Jake Burger here versus Martin Perez. Okay, let's take a look at the shortstop position. So a stud on the slate that I like, Fernando Tatis Jr. or Tatis Jr. Again, he doesn't have great splits, but he's a home run hitter on the slate, so I do like that. But take a look at Ezekiel Duran. He's got a 5% batting advantage over Michael Kopech. Ezekiel Duran batting a .827 OPS versus righties. Michael Kopech pitching his worst ball versus righty batters, 14% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .749 OPS versus righties. Now, Ezekiel Duran is 1 for 2 versus Kopech. That one hit was a home run. He's 3,000 FanDuel salary, 100 more on DraftKings, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He has a batting average of .306. So you guys can see here, I really struggled to pick bats on this slate, but I like Ezekiel Duran here versus Michael Kopech.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, moving on to the outfield position. I guess Juan Soto is looking like he's in a good spot here versus a low salary pitcher, Ryan Walker. Juan Soto, he's batting 24% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .894 OPS versus righties. Ryan Walker giving up a .591 OPS versus lefties. And Juan Soto is 1 for 2 here versus Walker. That one hit was a home run. He's 3,200 FanDuel salary, 2,600 more on DraftKings, averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season, scored fantasy points in all 5 of his last games, has a batting average of .260. So I like Juan Soto here versus Ryan Walker. Now, here's a stud that's got some good splits here. Probably my favorite stud on the slate and also a home run hitter. I like Luis Robert Jr. He's got a 35% batting advantage over the low salary pitcher Martin Perez. And Luis Robert Jr. bats 36% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a .122 OPS versus lefties. Martin Perez giving up a .807 OPS versus righties. And I like this pick because Luis Robert Jr. is 3 for 5 here versus Perez. It's a .467 OPS. and he's $3,200 FanDuel salary, $1,600 more on DraftKings, averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season, scored fantasy points in 4 out of his last 5 games, has a batting average of .262. So I like Luis Robert Jr. here versus Martin Perez. And another outfielder that I like here is Mike Yastrzemski. He's got a 30% batting advantage over Yu Darvish. Mike Yastrzemski batting 29% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .842 OPS versus righties. Yu Darvish does pitch his worst ball versus lefty batters, not by much, but he gives up a .713 OPS versus lefties. And I like this pick because take a look at this. Mike Yastrzemski. He is 7 for 18 here versus Darvish. That's a .389 batting average and a 1.318 OPS. 3 of those 7 hits were for home runs. Only $2,900 FanDuel salary. $300 more on DraftKings. Looking like one of the better value plays on the slate here today. He's been on fire as well. He's averaging 11 fantasy points per game on the season. Scored fantasy points in 4 out of his last 5 games. 2 of those were big. 1 was over 50 fantasy points. He has a batting average of .258. So I like Mike Yastrzemski here versus Yu Darvish.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smickety smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this MLB slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again and good luck.